So today's topic, I got inspired to do this just like 20 minutes ago. I got totally inspired to do this for Valentine's Day. Today's topic is how to have an easy, loving, pleasurable relationship with a man and men in general. How to have easy easy. Your relationships with men can be easy. Your intimate relationships with men can be easy. How to have easy, loving, pleasurable relationships with men. So if you're new to me, hello, I'm Sarah Kennedy. I am a coach who works with women. And what I help women do is unravel the pain body. Now that's a term I got from Eckhart Tolle. Hi, Kirsten, nice to see you. And what I mean when I say that is the amount of emotional pain that you're carrying in your body. And this pain that you carry in your body, the pain that women carry in our bodies, the emotional pain is often linked to men and to the masculine. So I help women unravel the pain that they're carrying towards men and towards the masculine, the wounds that they're carrying towards men and towards the masculine, so that you can have an easy, loving, pleasurable relationship with a man, if that is what your heart desires. And for years, I actually shut down that desire because all of my relationships with men were freaking really difficult. I had a lot of drama, I had a lot of pain, I had a lot of hurt in my relationships with men. And at some point, I just was like, I give up. This just isn't for me in this lifetime. And just started to pretend that that wasn't something that I actually wanted. I just got a thumbs up. Somebody can relate to that. Yeah, it was just like, this is too much work. I give up on this shit. Like, forget it. I'm just going to paint. I really like to paint. So I was just going to focus on painting. And then I had to, at some point, really reconcile that I really wanted an intimate relationship with a man, and that it was a really deep desire of mine that I had started to shut down. And how could I have that when I knew I still had so much pain and wounding towards men and towards the masculine? And I went on this long journey of healing that within myself. And there was a moment in this journey where I felt the very last bit of pain body that I was carrying towards men. I felt that release. And in that moment, I knew my relationships with men were forever changed. And I knew I was going to meet a man and we were going to have an easy relationship. And we met a month later. And we have the most easy, most loving, but still very, very dynamic. It's not boring. It's still very dynamic, and it's still very easy relationship. And this is something I would have never imagined that I could have. I didn't even know that relationships could be just joyful and not full of processing. Does anybody out there, when you get in relationships, do you find yourself having to process all the time? Do you find yourself getting triggered all the time? Do you find yourself getting hurt all the time? I used to be that way, so I totally understand it. And it's very possible to have something very different. So I'm going to share today 2 things that can help you have an easy, loving, pleasurable relationship with a man and with men in general. So I'm going to share those 2 things. And then I'm going to invite you to join my course. I have a course coming up. We start this Saturday. It's called Healing the Female Pain Body. And this is going to be a deep, deep dive into healing the pain that we're carrying towards men and towards the masculine, and creating easy relationships with men. It starts this Saturday. I'm so excited about it. There are just 4 spots left. I'm capping it at 35 women, and there's currently 31 beautiful women enrolled in this course, which I am so grateful for. So there are 4 spots left, and I'm actually going to give you a Valentine's Day special today. The early bird price, which was $100 off, ended on Friday. But for the 4 people that enroll, if you enroll by Valentine's Day, I'm going to honor that $100 off. And I'll put those links in the comments towards the end here. Well, let me just put the link for the course in right now. Okay. There's the link for the info about the course, and then you'll need links for the $100 off, and I'll put those in at the end. Okay, how to have easy, loving, pleasurable relationships with men. I love this topic. It's just, it's amazing where life will take you. I never thought I would be here talking about this because I never thought this was something that I could have. So I'm going to talk about 2 things that are necessary to have easy, loving, pleasurable relationships with men. And I hope I said enough to bust the myth that that's not possible. There is such a myth in our world that relationships are supposed to be hard, especially in the spiritual world. Like, relationships are supposed to be the place where you get triggered so you can heal your triggers, and relationships are supposed to be a place where you're processing all the time. That is a myth. Relationships don't have to be that way. And I want to be clear when I say that you can have an easy relationship with men. I want to be clear what I'm talking about. What I'm not talking about is pretending that everything's fine so you can have a false sense of ease. So I'm not suggesting in your relationships, if you're upset or triggered or hurt by something, that you should pretend that's not happening so you can be an easy woman, or you can have a false sense of ease in your relationship. I'm talking about a genuine ease, a genuine easefulness in your relationship. Just want to make sure that that's clear. Okay. So the first thing we want to talk about, how to have an easy, pleasurable, loving relationship with a man, is that it's fundamental. It's foundational. It's 100% necessary that within yourself you become easeful, loving, and pleasurable. That is what is in your inner world. It doesn't mean that if you go through a breakup that you won't grieve, if someone dies that you won't grieve, that you're never going to feel anger or rage again if there's an injustice that's happening. But that within you, there is a template of easefulness, of lovingness, and of pleasure, and not a false love and light. I am not a love and light person. Okay, I am not like love and light, love and light, love and light. I am not that person. I'm not talking about a toxic, like, underneath it all, you're a raging volcano, but you're pretending just to be a loving person. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a genuine lovingness, easefulness, and pleasure within you. The thing that blocks people from being able to access that within them, and because I work with women, I speak to women, is the pain body. The pain body manifests as literal congestion and energetic blocks in our body. And the 2 areas of the body where women carry the most of this is in the heart and in the pelvis, in the genitals and in the womb. Even if you've had your physical uterus removed, you still have the energetic imprint of the womb. So there are actual blocks in your heart and in your pelvis. And when there are blocks in your heart and in your pelvis, you cannot feel the essence that is meant to pump and circulate from those two parts of the body. So from the heart space, the essence of love, not the love and light love, not the fake love, the actual essential substance of love. The what a poet might call the perfume of love, the nectar of love. That is meant to circulate from your heart space through your body. When I was unraveling the pain body blocks that I had a moment where this deep block, this deep congestion of pain inside my deep heart let go. And suddenly this exquisite divine love opened up in my heart. And I felt the presence of what the poets called the beloved in my heart. That is how your heart is meant to feel. That is how your heart is at its true nature. That is the true nature of our hearts. I get emotional just talking about it. But what blocks us from feeling that is pain body congestion. That literally blocks the ability to circulate and feel that essential substance from our heart space. Now, in our pelvis space, that is the piece that circulates the essential substance of orgasm. Okay, when I talk about sensuality, sexuality, and orgasmic energy, I'm not talking about hormones. I have so many clients whose hormones are wacky. I actually have wacky hormones a lot, but I still have this deep orgasmic energy that circulates from my pelvis because it's an essential substance that's not linked to my hormones. And when you have pain body congestion, and I used to have so much pain body congestion in my pelvis, it caused me to have painful sex for 20 years. For 20 years, every time I would have sex, it would be painful. Women carry so much pain body congestion in our pelvis. So when you have that congestion, it blocks you from feeling that beautiful, feminine, like orgasmic, sensual, sexual essence. It's an essential substance that's meant to be circulating through your body. And when the essence of love is circulating through your heart and the essence of orgasm is circulating from your pelvis, they intermingle, and it's orgasmic love. That's what you can be feeling inside of you. Again, not that you're not going to grieve or ever feel rage or ever get frustrated again, but that within you, those essential essences, those essential substances there's space for them to circulate. When these essences circulate, not only are you loving from within, are you pleasure from within, you become so much more easeful. Right? Like right now, what so many women are in a space of is being easily triggered, easily upset, easily hurt. And that's because of pain body. Sip of water. It's not bad or wrong. That's just the process of being human. But it's possible to not be easily hurt, easily triggered when you heal the pain body, when you unravel the pain body and heal the wounds in there. Now, this doesn't mean if you have an abusive partner that you're not going to feel hurt and triggered. You will. Don't take the words that I'm sharing and try and make it work with an abusive partner. What I'm talking about is if you have a man in your life who's a generally decent man and you feel easily hurt, triggered, and wounded a lot in your relationship with a particular man or just with men in general. I used to, and then the other thing is offended. I used to feel so offended all the time by men's behavior. And now it's just like, doesn't bother me. Like, why would I get offended because of someone else's behavior? Why would I get hurt? Why would I get triggered? So becoming that easeful within yourself, that something can happen and it doesn't have to rattle you. Because you have this easefulness, you're circulating this essence. It feels good inside you. It feels good inside your body. So that's the first piece, is becoming the woman who's easy, loving, and pleasurable. Not a Stepford wife. Please don't take it like that. This is real. This is the realness of being a human, when your heart is in its realness, when your pelvis is in your realness. This is what I'm talking about. This is essential. This is substance. This is not false light and false love. Okay. So let me give you a tip on how to do this. So we won't take time here to do it on the live stream, but on your own, what I would encourage you to do, you can especially do this next time you feel hurt or triggered, or there's a wound coming up, is to drop out of the emotional story and feel where you feel the congestion of pain in your body, and just simply give that your attention. With your presence, with your attention simply on the congestion in your body, usually the congestion will start to loosen just with your presence and attention. Because we get really lost in the emotional story, like, oh, that guy did this, when we're like, oh my God, everything's so terrible, I feel so. No, just come back to, where do I feel this pain congestion in my body, and let me give it my presence. Let me give it my attention. One thing you can do, I'm getting so many emojis and I don't know what they all mean. Someone sent an angry looking emoji. If you have a question about something, you can put it in the comments. If something I said, you have a question about it, feel free to put it in the comments. But I lost my place now. What was I saying? What was I just saying? I don't remember. But also one little simple thing you can do is say yes to this congestion that you're feeling. Just bring a yes to it. Just welcome it. It's from this welcoming presence that this congestion can start to unravel and the essential substances can start to circulate. Okay, you unravel the pain body congestion, and then there's space for the essential substance to circulate. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, but I'm guessing someone out there needs to hear it repeated. I know I need to hear it repeated personally. Okay, so that's the first thing. There's a lot more I'm going to be teaching in this course that I'm so excited about. The course is so amazing. The first round of it, there were 29 women in it, and I surveyed them at the end, and 100% said I would highly recommend this course to other women. There were so many beautiful transformations that happened in this course. There was a woman whose marriage shifted dramatically from this course. So we're going to be going into this so much deeper in the course, how to unravel these painful blocks that we're carrying, and how to allow those essential substances to circulate so that you become the easy, pleasurable, loving woman that then can have an easy, pleasurable, loving relationship. It has to come within you first. And I know some of you might scream about that and think, no, it's just because I haven't met the right man. It's because all the men out there are jerks. It's because men don't know how to share their emotions. That's why I'm not having an easy, loving, pleasurable relationship. I know this one very well because I did that for years. And it wasn't until I put the attention on myself and became the easy, loving, pleasurable woman that I can have an easy, pleasurable, loving relationship with a man. It was never about the men. It was always about me. Okay. The second thing, let me take a sip of water. If anyone has questions, put them in the comments. Let's see. Make sure I said everything from that piece. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about in this live stream to help you have an easy, loving, pleasurable relationship with a man is I want to talk a minute here about the father wound. Because what's happening for so many women, our fathers are our formative male figure. For most of us. Maybe for you it was your grandfather or an uncle. Most of us it was our fathers. He was our formative male figure. And we were these precious little girls, and what we wanted more than anything from our father was to feel his love, his adoration, and to feel cherished by him. Right? Can anyone relate to that? Did you want that from your father? I think we all did. I'm pretty sure all of us wanted that from our father. What so many of us had was a father who couldn't really do that. Maybe he could do it in small ways, but he couldn't do it to the depths that you wanted. And maybe he couldn't do it at all. Maybe he wasn't able to do that at all, right? And so what we did when we didn't have the father who loved, adored, and cherished us, maybe you didn't even have your father in your life. Maybe he abandoned you, right? So you didn't have this at all. So what we do when we're little, because we don't know how to discern, what we do when we're little girls is we think that the way that mom and dad are treating us has something to do with us. We take it personal. So when you have a father who didn't know how to love, adore, and treasure you and cherish you, as a little girl, you took that to mean something about you. You took that personally. You took it to mean that you weren't lovable, that you weren't worthy of being cherished, that you weren't cherishable. Is that a word? I don't know, but you know what it means, right? And so many women are carrying a deep wound around this. And then when you get in a relationship with a man, you project that wound onto him. And that makes relationships really hard and really painful. Okay, I was just talking with someone I know who was having an issue with, it wasn't even a man she was in an intimate relationship with. He was a teacher of hers, and she didn't feel seen by him, and she was feeling so deeply hurt by it, that this was about her father. She had never felt seen by her father, and she took that to mean something about her. And that's why we have a wound, because we took it personal. If we didn't take it personally, we wouldn't be wounded about it. We would just be like, oh, well, there's my dad, and that's who he is. And we wouldn't have a wound if we didn't take it personally. It's because we took it personally that we create a wound. Does that make sense? Is this making sense to people? If it is, I'd love an emoji so I know you're out there following me. So I want to give you, just like I'm holding my heart, because I know how painful this is for women, because I had this for years. Like, my father was not the kind of man that was very present. He didn't really know how to show love. I never really felt treasured, like I was a treasure. So I know this wound. And I projected this onto men and caused a lot of harm in my relationships because of this. So we're going to go into this really deeply in the course, Healing the Female Pain Body, but I want to give you something that you can do with it now. And this is really simple, but it's really powerful. So what you can do now is I want you to recognize that your father was unable to deeply love, deeply adore, treasure someone before you were ever born. Okay? That this was something that he didn't learn how to do because he probably didn't get it from his mom and dad. And he had his own pain body block, so he wasn't circulating the essence of love either. If you're just joining now, go back and watch the beginning where I talk about how to circulate the essence of love from your heart. So he didn't have that essence circulating inside him either. When we don't have these essences, when we don't have the essence of love circulating in our heart, we don't have the essence of orgasm circulating in our pelvis, honestly, like people become like the walking zombies. Like it's zombie land out there. A lot of us had parents that were kind of like walking zombies. They were totally cut off from their essential beingness. They were cut off from their essence. They were lost, just absolutely lost in their own pain bodies. But then we take it to mean something about us. So I want to encourage you just to look at your father and see that his inability to be present with love and to treasure you had nothing to do with you. It had everything to do with his own pain body blocking him from the essence of love. And that started for him when he was a small child. It had absolutely nothing to do with you. It's not because of you. It's not about you. It's not even personal to you. So when you do this, when you really sense it, when you really feel it, what it does is it starts to withdraw the feeling in you that this was personal. It doesn't mean you're going to stop wishing and wanting that your father had been that way. But you can wish and want that without having a wound about it. So when you withdraw that this is personal towards you, that's actually a medicine for the wound, because the wound is because you took it personally. So you withdraw that this had anything to do with you. This was your father's dharma, whatever word you want to use. This was about him and his lack of essence within himself. And we're going to go into this father wound piece at a much, much deeper level in the course, Healing the Female Pain Body, because there's a lot more around this. And this is a pivotal piece, because what we do is we project our wounds from our father onto the men in our lives, and we start to project our father onto them in general. We start to look at them and we see our father. We don't see the man in front of us. And that makes relationships with men so hard. Okay, let me take a sip of water. Does anyone have any questions? So it is absolutely possible to have easy, loving relationships with men no matter where you're at right now. If your relationships are a disaster, if you are constantly triggered and constantly hurt, you can still have easy, loving relationships with men. If I can, given where I used to be, my relationships were disasters. I had so much rage and anger towards men. I projected onto every man I met. Even I had some male teachers who I projected all of my stuff on nonstop. I was a mess around men. If I can go from that to the easy, loving, healthy relationship that I now have with my man, I'm a living proof that you can absolutely have that. And what would it be worth to have that? What would that be worth to you? I can't even tell you how lovely it is to have this. To have this loving relationship where I'm supported, where I get so much support from my partner, where things are so joyful. I mean, we spend most of our time laughing together. In my relationships before, we spent most of our time trying to process through issues. Like, what would that be worth to have. And I want you to have that. So that's what inspired me to come on and do this Valentine's Day live stream. Because I know, like if 5 years ago someone had told me that I would have this kind of relationship with a man, I would have been like, that's just not possible. I just thought relationships were meant to be, chaotic and hard. They're not. When you heal the pain body, when you heal the wounds that you're projecting onto men, you don't have to have all this blah. You don't have to. And that doesn't mean, again, that the relationship isn't dynamic. It doesn't mean that really the relationship is boring. That's when things can actually get really good. That's when love can actually open up at a much deeper level because you're not having to manage your pain body all the time. Okay, you're not having to process all the time. You can go deeper into a deeper state of union through love. Okay. So those were the things. As I said, there's so much more in the Healing the Female Pain Body course. I put a link where you can find out more about the course. It's already in the comments. And I shared earlier that I'm offering you a Valentine's Day special. Happy Valentine's Day. There was a early bird $100 off bonus that ended last week. I have 4 more spots in the course. I'm capping it at 35. There's currently 31 enrolled. And so happy Valentine's Day. I'm offering, if you enroll, hold on, let me grab the link, you that $100 off. And so you're going to need special links for that. Does that work? Yeah. Okay, there's a paid in full. Hold on, which one was that? Okay, that was the payment plan. So there's a payment plan with the early bird special. That's that link. And here is the paid in full link. I think. Let's try this. Let me make sure. Thanks for your patience. Yeah, great. Okay. So in the comments, there's a link for the payment plan option with the $100 discount and a link for the paid in full option with the $100 discount. And the paid in full is the best deal. It's cheaper if you pay in full. So again, we start this Saturday. I'm so excited. This course is so good. This course is a accumulation of 10 years of my experience unraveling the pain body that I have towards men. If you can't join the classes live, they're going to be recorded, so you can catch the recordings. You will have a lifetime access to the recordings. I've had many women who weren't able to join live and they watched the recordings. At the end of each class, so there's going to be content during each class, and then at the end there's time for Q&A and even time to be coached by me. So I will coach you individually with whatever you're struggling with in the classes. There's also a Facebook group for the women enrolled, and I'm super active in that Facebook group. In between classes, you can ask me questions, and I will often go in there and do live streams based on your questions for the group. So it's very, very in-depth. You get a lot of access to me personally when you are in this course. And again, there's just 4 spots left. So if you'd like one of those, you can follow the links for the $100 off special, and happy Valentine's Day. Does anyone have any questions? If you're watching the replay and you have a question, put it in the comments and I'll come back and answer it. If you have any questions about the course, just send me a PM message, a personal message, and I'll be happy to answer it. I'm even happy to pop on the phone with you if you want to just get on the phone and see if the course is a good fit for you. So just send me a PM if you'd like to do that. All right, I think that was it. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. I wish every woman out there easy, pleasurable, loving relationships with men. Bye.